Hello, and welcome to a broadcast produced by Friends of Terry Virgil. I'm Terry Virgil, your host, and today's episode is titled Obama Does Show That He Too Hates. And let's go in reference of why we titled the program. This is actually probably going to be a two-part show, or even two subjects in this program. So let's just bear with what I've got here, because I got a couple shows that I like to put on, and the list is getting a little crowded here. Well, as we were looking at the killing by a occult group member of Islamic State of Muslims, and he did, yes, kill people in Orlando, Florida. But the whole thing of it is, that too is proof that the Islamic State of Muslims do hate, including homosexuals. But let's go to the title of our program. Obama showed his hate. And when you look at his facial expressions, he hates the idea of calling the truth about Muslims, because he is a Muslim. When you are a Muslim and you hate to tell the truth about just how bad and evil they are, and you show it in your facial expressions, because you can't hide from what you have as facial expressions. That is a fact. To say that it's a radical part of the occult group Muslim faith, well, in reality, no, and the other answer is yes, it is. The no part is because there are those who believe that they are living a life in peacefulness. The other part is, yes, they are radical, because here's the one thing. If you look at the Quran, you got three major roles that are trying to fight for the Muslim faith, the occult group itself. You got ISIS, you got the Taliban, and you got Al-Qaeda. All three of them are the fighting force behind the Islamic State of Muslims. Not everybody is involved with the fighting part, but in reality, when you look at it all in a nutshell, it's all the same. Obama is part of one of those groups, one of those four. I would almost venture that he's behind the terrorist ideas that are there and the terrorist things. When you call it an occult group like I have been doing, what I'm saying is it's a religion. And yes, it is a religious war. The Islamic State of Muslims go all the way back to 634 AD. They've been fighting a war since then of world dominance and world power. They are fighting a war trying to say that the only type of people that should exist on the face of the earth are the Islamic State of Muslims. All the Muslims. Everybody's supposed to be a Muslim. It is a holy war, a jihad in their own language. It's a hate group built up of leaders like Obama, Bin Laden, and anybody else that we can name. I have a little hard time pronouncing their names, so I won't say that. Anybody that's got the first name Muhammad, last name Ali, is part of this hate group. Yes, he didn't display his hate, but yet he did hate. Let's put it this way. I would almost venture and look even further into Obama's brothers or brother, that they are part of the Islamic hate groups State of Muslim, either Al Qaeda, either the Taliban, even the one broke whatever they want to pronounce it in Africa, and ISIS. One of those four. Now, the other thing that you got to look at is the hate group that Obama belongs to. You could see it in his facial expressions. He doesn't want to call it radical because, in truth, he'd be correct. It's not radical. It's part of their occult religious practices. It is part of their rituals. They have got to kill people or convert them by any means they could force people to do it. That's why they're called terrorists. When you define those words, you defined everything else. I am calling Mr. Obama out on these things. And I'm also calling out the liberals, Democrats, communists, and socialists. Matter of fact, I'd like to see some remarks. Because yes, this does go on my Facebook page. And yes, it does get sent to other places of media. We could go back to what Mr. Trump said. And now it's starting to look good. Ban them all from coming in until we can sort out what's what and who's going to be loyal to freedom and liberty. That's just it. It just makes common sense. Maybe what we ought to do is say this: you could come into this country if you could prove that you're not going to commit a holy war like you have. So this holy war, in all reality, has been going on since 634 A.D., since the birth of the Islamic State of Muslim occult group. I cannot call it a church, and I will not. I will call it a religion because it's exactly what it is when you call it an occult group. It's satanic. Yes, it is. They got a lot of satanic issues in there. And let's examine another thing here, too, when we look at this. The man that did murder the other occult group, homosexuals, that's what they are. They practice a religion called psychology type, and it comes from psychology, a religion of homosexuality. It's an occult group. They don't like morals. They believe in sexual immorals. They believe in sexual immorality and every other kind of perverted ideas too. Now you have two perverted occult groups fighting it out. One had an AR-15 and a few other pieces of equipment to kill people. The other one just wants to be a total jackass of a liberal group, and I'm going to say it that way, and spread their manure and lies. Both occult groups tell lies. They have no integrity. I have not yet seen one Muslim with integrity. I have not yet seen one homosexual, LGBT, whatever you want to call yourself, with integrity. I have not yet seen one liberal mention the word integrity. Matter of fact, they've told lies. Look at Hillary Clinton and her husband, and the whole Clinton clan, and those that love the Clintons. They love the lies. None of them have integrity. So, anyways, like I said, we could go to a few other subjects in this whole group area too, but let's face it, people. When Mr. Obama comes out with a very angry look on his face because he knows for a fact that man was not radicalized, he was part of his own religion. So if it made him angry because the man that did the killing is part of his own occult religious group, then you could say he had every right to be angry over that. one issue. So 49 people died because two occult groups clashed. Here's the other thing, too. Yes, I am a military man, and I do understand one thing. If you want to get and destroy your enemy, you should know your enemy. You should know what a homosexual is like. An LGBT. I've never been to one of the clubs or been to one of the Klan meetings, because if you go to a Ku Klux Klan liberal homosexual group, that's exactly what it is. Same thing as the KKK. And they're trying to sing Kumbaya, love one another, when they forget about one thing. It's called agape. Not this love to have sexual relationships outside of a marriage that is supposed to be between one man and one woman only. You notice I said the word one man and one woman only. Just to produce children, to bring children into the world. That's all marriage is really. It's a real good institution. I mean, yes, it's part of it to bring children into the world, but the other part is it's also a government. It's also part of a church. Or in the case of the Muslims, it's part of the occult group. And also, it's in case of homosexuals, it's also part of their occult group. It's a religion, people. They got to believe in that. They believe in it so much that they practice it in public view, which is disgusting to see two women kissing, or two men kissing, or two men hugging, or two women hugging. That's why when a person wants to hug me, I don't really particularly care for it. I'll say, okay, fine, but just make it real quick and get on with it. Let's put it this way: if a man wanted to kiss me, I guarantee it, I'd kiss him right back with the right and the left. If a woman wanted to kiss me, I'd push her away. I'm not married, so that answers that question. I don't want to see it. I don't want to even participate in it. If I ever got married and had children, I would forbid them from becoming a homosexual in every which way possible. Now we could go back and talk about Obama and his hate. He hates Christians. He hates Jews. That's because he's a Muslim. End of sentence. Today, I was listening to something else as well, and I have to say this much about what took place in Orlando. It was an occult group, ISIS member, that shot and killed all kinds of those that belonged to the occult group called homosexuals, LGBTs, whatever. And like I said, that man that did the killing infiltrated that type of group and culture just to get an idea how to go about doing it. That is a very smart warrior's way of doing it, by the way. I'll be honest with you, I've read about different enemies, such as the Islamic State of Muslim occult group, and I've read about different stuff about the occult group homosexuals, LGBTs. So yes, I got a very good idea how to go about my business and avoid or to say what I want to say about these occult groups. Obama is saying that, and a few other, let's go on to this part of the subject too. There are those who say that they got to get rid of the AR-15s, machine guns, or all guns, period. Well, here's the thing of it is, and they say it works. Well, here's the thing of it is, and you've